Hey guys, Super the Rage here. Hope you're having a fantastic day, because I'm about to ruin your fantastic day. So, it's happening again. So, I made a video about this back when they, 6 months ago, I think it was, they tried to kill net neutrality with some, I think it was the Internet Freedom Act or some bullshit like that. And whatever they were calling it then, I don't know if it's the same thing they're calling it now, but it's the same fucking bill. It is the same shit over and over and over again. So let's break it down. What is net neutrality? You're going to see a lot of videos and a lot of people posting about what net neutrality is. And there's misinformation being sent out by Comcast and AT&T and Verizon and all the internet guys and everybody that wants in on, basically net neutrality being gone and then forcing you to pay for more access, right? So, let's talk about what net neutrality does. Net neutrality is a current law that requires that all internet service providers provide equal speed to all websites. That is a fact, okay? Keep that in mind. Now, some people might say, oh, net neutrality is a bad thing. Net neutrality is government control and whatever, and the FCC's regulations are bad. No, it is not. You are a fucking retard. You're either a bot for AT&T and all the companies that want this. You're completely retarded and don't do any research on this subject whatsoever. And I just told you the facts, so listen, okay? Or you're just plain flat out stupid or fucking paid off to say these things. Because you're clearly a fucking fake. Nobody in their right mind thinks that net neutrality is a bad thing, because everybody in their right mind knows what net neutrality actually does. Okay, so let me reiterate. Net neutrality means that, let's say, if your service provider is AT&T, right, or something. Let's say AT&T, because they're usually the ones that are most aggressive about this crap. So AT&T, right, is your service provider, right, your ISP, and they decide that, okay, you know what, there's this one website that is criticizing us, or let's say, okay, there's the Verizon website and the Comcast website and our competitors' websites, right? But you're on AT&T, so we want you to stay with us. So we don't want you to see their information. We don't want you to have this. So we're gonna go ahead and slow down their speed and the speed to their site. So whenever you try to go to their site and look at their prices and look at their stuff, then you won't be able to. Now that's on the competitive edge. Let's talk about the more sinister shit. Let's talk about the Orwellian 1984 type shit that could happen. These companies could decide, you know that YouTube thing? Yeah, that keeps like airing our dirty laundry and making problems for us. You know what? Let's just get rid of that. So, YouTube, yeah, and under this new law, they wouldn't be able to completely stop the service of giving you access to YouTube, but they would be able to legally slow it down to where the page will never fucking load for you. And it would take about 10 hours to load one page, thus making the site ineffective. And this is what net neutrality protects you against, is companies doing what companies are naturally supposed to do. Maximize profits. That's all they're there for, okay? And I do not blame a company, right? It's in their nature. Businesses make money. Businesses are supposed to make profit. It makes sense. I do not fault them for making profit. I fault their fucking way of doing it. Okay? Okay. This is ridiculous that I have to make this fucking video, that I have to tell you guys that this is a thing. And the fucking scumbags who did this are doing this over Thanksgiving to hope that nobody will fucking notice it's happening. But no, we saw it. We saw it. The watchdog saw it. Everybody was watching. The second you threaten net neutrality, everybody on YouTube is going to jump you. Everybody on Twitter is going to jump you. Because the common man who doesn't use these services on a frequent basis may not know. But it only takes one person, like, say, I don't know, Total Biscuit or Boogie, who has a few million subscribers and gets constant views, right, to actually talk about it. And then the word gets out. And then everybody starts retweeting it, everybody starts sharing it, everybody starts calling the reps and saying, no, you're not going to do this. Now, let's talk about what happens if they do. What happens if they get rid of net neutrality completely and it's gone, right? That means that your internet service provider, your ISP, will be able to slow down competition's websites, slow down whoever's websites they want legally. They'll be able to just stop that shit. And whatever site you want to go to, you won't get to go to anymore. Oh, you like going to this one forum site. Well, guess what? This forum disagrees with the company. It must die. Oh, you like going here. And people, and it pisses me off because the people that make the argument though, oh, FCC regulations are bad, so all you people that want net neutrality, you want the government to regulate the internet and be in control of the internet. Yes! You know why? Because if the government tries to stop somebody from going to a certain site, like let's use an example here for a completely crazy bastard who shouldn't have a fucking website to begin with, but hey, internet's free and open. Alex Jones, complete fucking retard, complete right-wing conspiracy theorist nut job. He shouldn't be allowed to stand on a street corner with a sign because it spreads so much misinformation, let alone have his website, but that's fine. Hey, I can hate him, he can hate me, that's how it works. But if the government really was abusing net neutrality like these people claim, then people like Alex Jones wouldn't fucking exist. Or people like TYT wouldn't exist, right? Left-leaning, right-leaning, whatever you want to call it. Not that Alex Jones and TYT are even in the same ballpark. Alex Jones is way out in left fucking field. But my point being, you just gotta pay attention, guys. You gotta pay attention to what's happening and what's the problem and what's going on, okay? And, this is one of those things where it's not a left issue, it's not a right issue, it's an us issue. It is, I think it's finally coming to a head, and people are starting to understand. Not necessarily just in this one instance, not necessarily overall even, but I think it's starting to get to the point where people are realizing, people are waking up and realizing, wait a minute, it's not a left versus right world, it's not a world of man versus woman, it's not a world of black versus white, it's a world of poor versus the rich, because the rich want to keep their money. And the way they keep their money and keep making their money is fucking over the poor guy. That's exactly how it works. The rich don't spend money. Okay? They spend money to make money. The rich don't buy this shit. The rich don't hold up the economy. Oh yeah, they create the jobs and all that. The middle class works the jobs to make the money. The middle class buys things like food and rent and shit constantly. Okay? And this is one of those issues where it does not need to be, like, anybody who's not a mega corporation should be afraid of this. And anybody who even is a mega corporation should be afraid of this, because that means your competition could slow down the service to your site. That's not fair. What net neutrality does, it keeps everybody on the same level, and we need it. We need it to stay in place. We do not need net neutrality repealed. Okay? This is a very basic concept. 2 plus 2 is 4. Okay, follow me on this. Net neutrality is a good thing. Repeat after me. Net neutrality is a good thing. Never think that net neutrality is a bad thing. Now, if it comes out that somebody uses net neutrality to fuck something over, which they can't, but even if they did, then criticize that. You don't generalize about a policy if the policy has proven to work. You don't. You just don't. If the policy's working, you leave it alone, and then if there are abuses in the policy, you examine it and you rework it. That's how it works. That's how it's supposed to be. Now, what can you do? All right, you're asking yourself, okay, I've seen you rant for like 8 minutes here. What can I do to actually stop this? Well, you can call your representatives. You can text them. You can do all kinds of things. I'm going to have links to several sites in the description, as well as several other videos about this subject. So if I didn't articulate the point enough and I'm too rambly for you guys, go ahead and watch other people's videos, because they know what's up and they know what is the deal with net neutrality and how it is really affecting. And they're wordsmiths. They're better with their words than I am. They've been doing YouTube a lot longer, talking to the camera a lot longer than I have. So they know how to interact with you guys and put it in words you can understand. But as it's simply put, I'm gonna simplify this right now. Net neutrality is a good thing. Do not let your representatives repeal net neutrality. It only fucks over you. It does not fuck over anybody but you. You are screwed by this. You are screwed by this. He is screwed by this. I am screwed by this. Dave down the street is screwed by this. Okay? Net neutrality is a good policy. We need it to stay in place so that the internet can remain a free and open platform where we can, all be together and get our opinions out and talk to each other and not be censored and not be, cut off from one another. There's a famous quote that I want you guys to keep in mind that I've always heard, and I believe it's in relation to Orwell's 1984. I could be wrong though. I'm not sure, but the quote I keep coming back to, right? This is something you should keep in mind when thinking about net neutrality. The revolution will not be televised. Okay, that means that old media will not cover it because old media is bought. Old media is done. Okay, all your cable news now, your littler channels, your local news is maybe not, but things like CNN, Fox, ABC, MSNBC, all the big networks, they're owned by shit. They're owned by things. Disney owns like NBC, and fucking Fox is owned by like other shit. It's people. Time Warner owns CNN. Time Warner Cable. So the cable company owns the news network. What the fuck? So that's the reality here, guys. Okay, we need net neutrality because it's the only way that everybody in the world can come together and interact fairly on an equal platform. Now, does that mean that I'm okay with Nazis and terrorists and everything on the platform? No. Those people are pieces of shit and should die. The most horrible death. But you know who else is a piece of shit and needs to die a horrible death? Ajit Pai and all the other fuckers pushing to eliminate net neutrality. Ajit Pai is the head of the FCC, and he's pushing for this shit to eliminate net neutrality. He's a piece of shit. He needs to die right along with the terrorists. He is just as bad as a Nazi. His ideas are fucking terrible. Okay? All this idea of getting rid of net neutrality, horrible fucking idea. It makes you so bad of a person. And you are such a horrible person if you think that net neutrality is a bad thing. Net neutrality is a good thing. 2 + 2 is 4, kids. Net neutrality is a good thing. Check the links in the description to, call your representatives, email them, text them, whatever, and tell them to stop this. And then, if it still goes through, you know who's asked to vote out next election. Okay? Okay.